Every website you've ever visited, every app you've ever used on the web starts with the same thing. HTML. Google's homepage, HTML. YouTube, HTML. That banking app you check every morning, HTML underneath. HTML is the skeleton of every web page. Without it, there's nothing to style, nothing to make interactive, nothing to display. If you want to build for the web, this is where you start. In this video, you'll learn HTML from scratch, not just what the tags are, but why they exist and how browsers actually read them. And we'll start building TaskFlow, our project for this entire series. So what is HTML? HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. Let's break that down. Hypertext means text with links, text that can connect to other text. That's what makes the web a web. Markup language means you're marking up content with tags to tell the browser what that content is. This is a heading, this is a paragraph, this is an image. HTML is not a programming language. It doesn't have logic, loops, or variables. It's a structure language. It describes what's on the page, not what the page does. Think of building a house. HTML is the blueprint and the frame, the walls, the rooms, the doors. CSS is the paint and decoration. JavaScript is the electricity and plumbing that makes things work. Without the frame, there's nothing to paint and nothing to wire up. That's why we start here. Every HTML document follows the same structure. At the very top, you have the doctype declaration. It's a single line, angle bracket, exclamation mark, doctype HTML. This tells the browser, I'm writing HTML5, the current version. Next comes the HTML tag. This wraps everything on the page. Inside the HTML tag, there are exactly two children, head and body. The head contains metadata, information about the page that the user doesn't see directly. The title tag sets the text you see in the browser tab. Meta tags define the character encoding, viewport settings for mobile, and description for search engines. Link tags connect CSS style sheets. Script tags connect JavaScript files. The body is everything the user actually sees. All your visible content goes inside the body tag. Headings, paragraphs, images, buttons, forms, everything. Let's see this in TaskFlow. Create a file called index.html. Start with doctype HTML. Then the HTML tag with lang equals n for English. Inside head, add a meta charse UTF-8, a meta viewport tag, and a title TaskFlow. Inside body, we'll add our first content, an h1 tag that says TaskFlow. Open this file in your browser, and you'll see the title in the tab and the heading on the page. That's your first HTML page. Now let's learn the tags you'll use every day. HTML has about 100 tags, but you'll use maybe 20 regularly. Let me walk you through them. Headings come in 6 levels. H1 is the biggest, H6 is the smallest. Every page should have exactly one H1. It's the main title. H2 tags are for sections, H3 for subsections. Don't skip levels. Don't go from H1 straight to H4. This confuses screen readers. The paragraph tag P is for blocks of text. Browsers automatically add space above and below paragraphs. The span tag is for inline text. It doesn't add any spacing. Use it when you want to style a word inside a paragraph. The div tag is the most generic container. It groups elements together but has no meaning on its own. It's a box. You'll use it a lot for layout purposes. The anchor tag A creates links. The href attribute tells the browser where to go when the user clicks. The strong tag makes text bold. The m tag makes it italic. Both have semantic meaning. Strong means important. M means emphasis. The br tag creates a line break. The hr tag creates a horizontal line to separate sections. The image tag img displays images. It has no closing tag. Instead, it uses src for the image source and alt for a text description. The alt text is critical for accessibility. Screen readers read it aloud. In TaskFlow, let's use these tags: an H1 for the app name, an H2 for each section, my tasks, add new task, paragraphs for descriptions, a div to wrap the task list area. Tags alone aren't enough. Attributes give tags extra information. Every attribute has a name and a value written inside the opening tag. You've already seen some. Grep on anchor tags, src on image tags. Let me explain the most important ones. The ID attribute gives an element a unique identifier. No two elements should have the same ID. It's used to target a specific element with CSS or JavaScript. The class attribute assigns one or more class names. Unlike ID, the same class can be used on multiple elements. Classes are the primary way you style elements with CS. The style attribute lets you write CSS directly on an element, but avoid this. It's better to use a separate CSS file. Data attributes start with data dash. Data priority, data status, data user ID. They let you store custom information on elements. JavaScript can read these values. The title attribute adds a tooltip that appears when you hover. The hidden attribute hides an element from the page. Boolean attributes like hidden, disabled, and required are either present or absent. They don't need a value. In task flow, we'll use ID for the task list container, classes for styling task cards and buttons, and data attributes to store task priority and status. There's one more thing you need to understand about HTML. Semantic versus non-semantic elements. A div is non-semantic. It tells the browser nothing about what's inside it. A nav tag is semantic. It tells the browser this is navigation. A header tag says this is the top section of the page or section. A main tag says this is the primary content. A footer tag says this is the bottom section. A section tag groups related content. An article tag is for self-contained content like a blog post or a task card. And a side tag is for sidebar content. Why does this matter? 3 reasons. First, accessibility. Screen readers use semantic tags to navigate the page. A blind user can jump from nav to main to footer instantly. With only divs, they have to read through everything. Second, SEO. Search engines understand semantic tags. They know that content in main is more important than content in a side. Third, code readability. When you read the HTML, nav and main and footer tell you exactly what each section does. A wall of nested divs tells you nothing. Let's restructure task flow with semantic HTML. Replace the top div with a header tag for the app title and navigation. Wrap the task list in a main tag. Each task card becomes an article. Add a footer at the bottom. The page looks exactly the same in the browser, but now it's properly structured for screen readers and search engines. Before we finish, you need to understand one crucial concept, the DOM, the Document Object Model. When the browser reads your HTML file, it doesn't work with the text directly. It converts the HTML into a tree structure called the DOM. The HTML tag is the root. Head and body are its children. Inside body, each element becomes a node in the tree. A div containing 3 paragraphs becomes a parent node with 3 child nodes. Nested elements create deeper branches. This tree structure is how the browser organizes the page internally, and it's how JavaScript interacts with the page. When you write JavaScript later, you'll select DOM nodes, modify them, add new ones, remove old ones. Every interaction you've ever had on a web page, clicking a button, typing in a form, scrolling through a list, was JavaScript manipulating the DOM tree. Understanding the DOM is understanding how web pages actually work. We'll dive deep into DOM manipulation when we get to the JavaScript videos. For now, just remember, HTML is the source, the DOM is what the browser builds from it. Let's recap what you've learned. HTML is a markup language that describes the structure of web pages. Every HTML document has a doctype, an HTML tag, a head, and a body. Tags like h1 through h6, p, div, span, a, and img are your building blocks. Attributes like ID, class, and data attributes give elements extra information. Semantic elements like header, nav, main, and footer make your HTML meaningful, and the browser converts your HTML into the DOM tree. TaskFlow now has its basic HTML skeleton, a header with the app name, a main area for the task list, and a footer at the bottom. It doesn't look pretty yet. That comes with CSS, but the structure is solid, and structure always comes first. In the next video, we'll build TaskFlow's task form using HTML forms and inputs. Every input type, every attribute explained. See you in the next one.